off. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Sally, and I'm joined this morning by my colleague Richard. And this morning we are, actually I'm going to just share my presentation. We are going to talk you through 10 top tips on your funeral notice platform. So I'm sure lots of you will know several of these tips that we're going to talk through, but hopefully you will pick up something new today. And if you've got any additional questions or something springs to mind that you think, oh, I'd really like to know how to do that, or does it do this, or does it do that, then please just put that in the chat box, because we'll take it in turns and speaking. So one of us can keep an eye on the chat that's coming through, and we've got space at the end to answer any of your questions. So these are the tips that we are going to be going through this morning. I won't read them out. I'll let you just have a minute to have a look through them. So I think there'll be something useful in there for everybody. The important thing to remember, though, is if you're unsure of how to do anything, we do have a fantastic support team. They are the phone and the emails are manned from 9 till 5 Monday to Friday, so you can email us at support@muchloved.com or give us a bell on 01494 722 818, where one of our colleagues will be happy to help you and talk you through your issue. But hopefully some of the tips that we're going through today will enable you to be able to do it all directly yourself. So the first thing that I wanted to talk you through was how to upload an order of service. Now I'm going to do that directly from our fake or sort of demonstration partner area. So our 10 funeral directors are called M. Lovell and Son. So I am going to upload an order of service to Peter Clark's tribute. At the moment, he doesn't have one. It's all a little bit higgledy-piggledy as well, so we're going to talk you through how to make some of these changes, but there's no order of service loaded, so I am going to show you how to do that. So the reasons why you might want to upload an order of service are, so if there is a live streaming of the funeral, then anyone watching the live streaming will also be able to follow the funeral service directly from the order of service, which they can access directly from the tribute page or also directly from your website if you've got the widget coding set up. It also means that it just provides a bit of a keepsake for the family, so they can keep that order of service online in the digital space, as well as maybe having a physical copy of it. So it's really easy to upload. You just simply click on that plus button next to the particular tribute page that it's allocated to, click on select file, and then on your so it will automatically open up your file. So I've got Peter's order of service here. I'll just open that, and then that saves the file directly on his tribute. So I'm just going to go back to the tribute and I'm going to refresh the page. And we can see here now the order of service is displaying directly on his tribute. And if I open up our demonstration web page as well, where you can see Peter's order of service is displaying directly from the web page as well. So that is my first tip. So the second bit that I want to talk you through, I'm just going to pop back to the presentation. Sorry, there's a little bit of backwards and forwardsing between the demo site and the presentation, and also should let you know that we should also make the presentation available to you along with the recording, and we will make that available from your support site. So we upload all the recordings for all the webinars on there, and we'll put a copy of the presentation on there for you as well. So that's tip one, uploading the order of service. The second tip that I want to talk about is archiving the funeral notice. So you can see here the screenshot of Robert's tribute, and the section highlighted in red is the funeral notice, and this one's just got one location. They may have multiple locations. They may have an order of service, as we've just seen. So what happens is automatically 42 days after the funeral takes place, we will archive that information and we will shift it up into the gallery section of the tribute. And that means that it moves the funeral notice from the front of the tribute, so it means the family can continue to use that page more as an ongoing tribute page without having the continual reminder of the funeral. So it allows the family to continue to use the page as a long-term tribute. If you would like to, we can set up an alert. So when that funeral notice is archived, you can receive an alert and it will give you direct access to a donation report, which you can then send out to the family. Now, obviously, this is set to close automatically 6 weeks after the funeral. If you want to reduce that time or extend that time, you can do. We can set that up on a partner by partner basis. So just let us know if you want that amended. And also, please let us know if you want an alert set up. It's actually relatively easy to do. You can just do it. You can do it directly from your partner area if you wish, or you can ask us and we can do it for you. So sticking with my presentation, I also wanted to show you how to access charity payment information. So you're probably aware that donations are transferred on the 15th of the month for all donations in the previous month. So we're in May now. So all donations that are collected in May will be transferred over to the benefiting charities around the 15th of June. Now, if a funeral donations come in over a couple of months, so maybe there's been some donations collected in April as well as May, then some of the donations will be paid across in May and then some of them will be paid across in June. But you can see exactly what's being paid and when it's being paid directly from your partner area. Now, I had to take a screenshot of this because we don't have any payment information in our demonstration site. So it's really easy to see, though, from your tribute settings page, if you just scroll down to the funeral collection page, and if you under this section where you've got managed donations, add removed charities, fundraising settings, and then charity payments, if you just click on charity payments, then it will open up a section where you can see at the bottom of this slide, and you can see very clearly here if the payment has been made and also whether there's any outstanding or pending payments to be made. And if you're looking at your live partner area, so I mean, maybe that's a bit of homework, you can go and have a look after this session and see exactly how it looks in some of your tribute funds. If you click on the arrow, it will give you more detail. The other thing that we've introduced relatively recently is also the ability for your families to be able to see exactly when the payments have been done. So if you're handing over the tribute to the family, to the next of kin, they'll have access to the back end settings of the tribute. And from the donations section, they'll be able to see a list of donations that have been made against their tribute. And they'll also be able to see whether they have been paid across to the charity. So it's nice and simple, just a nice green tick if the payment has been paid across, and then they can click on the view button for more information. So very nice and transparent. And also, whilst I'm here, I'll tell you that the charities receive very clear, transparent information about payments and donations as well. So I am just going to pop back into our partner area to show you the next tip that I wanted to go through. So we're back in the partner area, and I wanted to show you about editing photos. So you may have noticed that when we looked at Peter's tribute, his photo was a little bit wonky. So that's really straightforward to edit. So I'm going to go back to the partner area. I'll go back to the beginning because this is how you would access it. So if you want to make any changes like this, then you just click on the settings button. And then if you scroll down to where it says pictures, and then if we click on edit, we can see Peter's picture. Now, if we just want to change the rotation of that picture, then we just click on that button and then just make sure that you click save underneath. And then we'll put back onto Peter's tribute and we can see that it is looking a lot better. It's also from here that we can upload multiple other pictures onto his tribute. So you just do that. You can see again how I did that. So click on pictures and then click on upload pictures and then click on select files. And then you can just select the photos that you want to upload. So you can select multiple pictures at once. Click on open and then click on upload, and it will automatically upload all those pictures. So, and also we can see here what I've done is I've put a duplicate of one picture, so I can just delete that one off. And then I can open up Peter's tribute and I can see that the others have been loaded. And if we sit here for a minute, we'll also see that they automatically go into a slideshow on the front of the tribute. So just one other tip to show you in terms of pictures, and if I go back to Lovell, you can see here that on some of the funeral notices it's pulling through a picture of the deceased, but next to Peter's it's got a picture of the theme on his tribute. Now if you want to update that, you go back to the partner area, and if we go back to the tribute settings, and then we'll just click on theme. And then you can see underneath here you've got tribute thumbnail. Now we can get rid of that and we can choose an existing picture from the tribute that's already been loaded, or we can upload a completely different picture to display here. So if we just click on use existing picture, and then we can display Peter's picture, and you can just move that around a bit. Yeah, we don't need to press save there, but then we'll go back to Lovell and give it a refresh. And then that's going to pull through Peter's picture, which looks really nice and neat and tidy. So last thing for me to show you before I hand over to Richard is talking about how to promote your tribute pages. So you've got a couple of ways to do that. Firstly, I wanted to show the QR code. We talk about QR codes a lot. If you click on the QR code section here, you'll see that you've got 2 QR codes, and if you've got a mobile phone handy, I'll try and do it. You might not be able to see anything because I've got a funky background on, but if you hover your phone over it, you'll see it will then open up the tribute page on your phone. So have a play with that. You can see that you've got 2 options here. You've got one without a logo and one with a logo. Please do test the one with the logo. Just occasionally, if the logo is quite big, it takes up too much of the coding and the QR code doesn't always work. And also when you download it, it will download it with the name of the tributee in the file, so you won't get mixed up with it on your desktop. The point of the QR codes is that you can put them on the back of the order of service, so that all the funeral guests can scan that. They can make their donation in lieu of flowers directly from that page, and also they can contribute to the page in terms of thoughts and stories. And potentially they'll all be walking out of the funeral with your website in their pocket. So it's a great sort of promotional tool as well. The other way that you can share funeral details is by sending a text, and it's called SMS. So if you just click on the speech bubble and then you put in a phone number, I'm going to put in my phone number. And then you can see here the message underneath. So it will automatically populate with a message. Now you can amend part of it. So I would suggest don't take out the web link, because that's what will give people access to the tribute page, either on your website or to the underlying tribute page. But you might want to amend some of this wording. Click send. That will send me a text message. I can then access that text message. I can cut and paste it, and I can put it into a WhatsApp group, and I could share it with friends and family, and we could distribute details about the funeral in that way. So I am now going to hand over to Richard to talk us through our other 5 top tips.
Let's hope all this seamlessly works without a problem. Okay, thank you, Sally. Let me just quickly try and share my screen. It's this one here. So just confirm, Sally, you're seeing that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. So I've got the second half of the show. My first little tip is, and hopefully most of you are doing this already, but is actually adding a tribute owner or tribute guardian. It's really important that you do this. It gives sort of full ownership of the page to the families, and they can continue to use the page then indefinitely. It also we passed information on to the charities, so that next of kin information is passed on to the charities, so they can then send a letter or email of thanks. It can be done in two ways. You can see it there. If you've added a charity, there's a little add donations contact button, and you just need to fill in the relevant details. Alternatively, if you have missed that step out, so this is where hopefully I will be able to just jump to my partner area. You seen that okay, Sally? Lovely.
Yep.
So if you haven't added it during the charity section, you can just in that central column just simply add the next of kin's details. I'll just be like Sally sending herself a text. I'm just going to make myself the tribute guardian here. So just enter my email address. And click next. Select the relationship to the tributee. In this case, I am a relative of Peter's, and then simply click next. And an email will come into my inbox in just a moment. Oops. Oh, hasn't popped in. Ah, signed me out. All right, we'll skip that. We'll have to skip that for a second. Just go back to the presentation. So it's not compulsory, but we do always recommend that you add those tribute guardians details. Okay. The next little bit of slideshow is how to personalize the page. As Sally showed you, we do have Peter's page is using like an iris theme there, so probably one of our generic sort of pages, but we do have a whole host of alternative page designs. Now, during the create process, you will come across that in one of the sections. If you do need to change the theme, or if the family want to change the theme, it can be done after the event. So I'm just going to scroll down. We're in settings here, so probably jumped ahead a little bit. If I want to change anything, so in this case I want to change the theme, just in the settings on the far right hand side, you get access to all the sections that you created. You can make any changes or amendments as is necessary. And at the bottom here, we've got the theme button. So it was defaulting to the iris theme. If you click on the browse theme button though, you've got access to a whole host of alternative page designs. I think there's about 250 or so, and you can reflect the life of the individual. So we'll say in this case that maybe Peter was a sports fan, and in particular he enjoyed his football. So I'm just going to change that to a football theme, and that will actually happen. That will actually amend the page immediately. There is the opportunity, I say this reservedly, there is the opportunity to request new themes. Sally's probably gnashing her teeth a little bit. We will review those and possibly be able to fulfill those, but we might not be able to at the same time. So do get in touch if you do think we're missing particular themes, and we will have a look at that.
Would just say it will take us a couple of days. So I mean, if your family has got a real burning desire for a particular theme, then let us know. We can't necessarily fulfill every request. So and there are a lot to choose from. So hopefully you'll find something that's suitable already listed.
And actually, just on Lou's point there, there's actually quite a lot of work that goes into these designs. So about sort of uploading your own or using it as your own pictures. They have to work on a whole host of devices, different size screens, different platforms and things like that, so that it's not as easy as you might think to just adding a new picture. The next thing I'm going to just mention is making sure you get the most out of your funeral location details. So when you're adding funeral details, you can add multiple locations. You can have maybe a church service followed by a committal followed by reception details. You can change the names of those as is appropriate. But also, if you do have multiple locations, you will have to add the actual funeral message in. And I'm actually going to we're going to sort of mess around with Peter's page in just a moment or two. One thing that you've got to be quite careful of is that if you don't put the full details in, you would end up with maybe a map of the UK or even no map at all. So you've got to make sure, if we go back to Peter's page here, and we just scroll down to his funeral details, we can see that the service details have been put in pretty weakly, and it's not coming up with any map. So I'm just going to go and amend that now. So again, just in the tribute listings, if you click on the little green book, that will give you direct access to the funeral notice. So here we've got the map of the UK. You won't find it obviously from here. So what we've got to do is put in the full address details. I've just got something saved on my right. I'm just going to paste that in here. And you can see it will automatically come up with the map there. Importantly, you can move that little pin around. You can zoom in and out as well. So actually, that's need to move the little pin. And I'll actually just zoom out a little bit just to show some of the maybe the more sort of major routes. Maybe that's a little bit too far out. Maybe that's about right. I will also include that on the notice, and the next time that you come to use this location, then that will actually be reflected. That will actually be in your drop-down list. So if I just go back to Peter's page, we can see that service detail map has been put in appropriately. The other thing to note is the funeral message box. Now, the funeral message box is very flexible. You can do an awful lot with it, and if you're not aware of this, you can actually add all sorts of information. So here I'm just going to amend the funeral message to reflect the committal as well. So again, you just have to type this information in. So we've got the funeral service followed by the committal, so I'm going to add that in there. Peter was also had a request about clothing. Again, just to let the mourners know all about that. I'm going to put that information in there as well. You can also add web links. So if you wanted to, you could add web links to local florists. And as long as you click return after the website link there, that will actually include the hyperlink. And you see it's gone blue and underlined. We're also going to put in the Overtus link as well. It could be any of the other providers as well. I'm just going to put in the Overtus link here. And then finally, there's a reception that everyone's invited to. So I'm just going to put that into. This is just to demonstrate sort of how flexible this funeral message box can be and sort of how it looks on the page. So there's all my three web links. We've got florists, we've got the streaming, and we've got the reception details. Just going to save those changes, and we'll just pop back to Peter's page, and you'll see there's all the relevant information with the clickable link. So if I click on that link there, we've got the information to the local florist. I think we've aggregated those two together. So my final point is about lighting a candle on behalf of the funeral director. So no compulsion to do this, but it's a nice add-on if you wish to. To light a candle, the little candle icon there, and simply click add a candle. We've got candles that burn for all periods of time, from a day all the way up to 100 years. My suggestion would be one that maybe burns for a couple of weeks. You can change the background of it, and there's no compulsion to put a message in. But again, I've got a little one saved here. So this is everyone at the much loved funeral home, and I'm just going to put a little short message in there as well. And I'll add that candle in. And what's nice is that that candle will sort of burn away for that period of time. So in our case, a couple of weeks. And if you notice it in the recent activity ticket on his page, it instantly arrives, and the family can see that. And just quite a nice touch to know that the first activity on the page is from the funeral home. So that Brilliant. Concludes my bit of the presentation. So we've got any questions that have come in?
There are a couple of questions, but before we go into those, I realised I just forgot to tell everybody something about the photo. So I just want to slip that in while you have a quick look at the questions, Richard. And that is if you scanning in a picture that the client has provided you with, and you can see it comes with a border around it, you will need to rescan it and crop it to make sure it doesn't have a border around it. And also, if you're supplied any pictures that are screenshots from phones, then you'll need to re-screenshot it just with the picture, or ask the client to provide you with a different version. So you'll need to manually change those and update those directly. So there were a couple of questions. I think there was a question from Louis about personalization. So around that, I would say that we are reviewing the look and the feel of the tributes, and that themes come under that as well. So if you just bear with us a little bit, it is under review and we are looking at it. So yeah, just if you be a little bit patient, hopefully you'll see some changes there.
Christine was just asking about how to not show you the funeral details. Lou's actually answered the question for me, but I just thought I'd show you on the funeral notice. If you don't want the funeral details to show, simply click the service is private, and that will then remove the information from your website. Christine's asked about the removal of a page. I assume that if the client wants it removed completely, is this possible? Absolutely, yes. To remove a page, if you just click in the settings on the far right hand side there, scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see there's a delete the tribute button. If I delete that, you get a sort of jungle-esque, are you sure you want to do that? And then you can just simply delete that tribute.
Claire's asked any link for music to make it easier. So if you want to upload music to the tribute, they have to own the music for rights reasons. So it's not really possible to include a link at the moment, but who knows about the future. And yeah, photos need to be in JPEG or PNG form, not PDF format. But you should be able to
and the order of service
save a photo. Go on, Rich.
No, I was just going to say, just while he's talking about formats, that the order of service needs to be in PDF format.
Okay. Yeah, and photos need to be in JPEG or PNG format.
There you go. There's your answer. Use a snipping tool. Thanks, Louis.
Brilliant. So if anyone else has got any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat box. I just want to say thank you very much for joining us this morning. As I said, the recording of this will be available on your support site, which you can access from your partner areas. I don't know if you just want to quickly show where that is, Richard. And we'll also upload a copy of the presentation just in case you want to have a look at it again. But we'll just quickly show you where the support site is and how to access that.
So in your partner area, if you just click in manage and go down to training and support, it'll give you access to all our areas of support. And in partner resources, there's all the recordings that we've carried out.
Yeah, and also the ones that were the forthcoming sessions that we've got. So if you want to log in or book into any of them, then feel free.
Again, that's just in manage and training and support there.